I grew up from like a very subtly religious background. So my grandparents wouldn't like really do anything like overtly to try to like get me into a specific religion or anything like that. They would just kind of teach me the lessons. And actually the other day we were looking into, I think it was like Luke chapter 6, where it was do others as you would do unto yourself. And I was just like, look, I've been told that my whole life, and like I didn't even know where it actually came from. And so I was always living off of like these very basic principles that I never knew were like Christ-like until I started getting more involved into the church. There was like this emptiness or like this dissatisfaction and like unfulfillment in a lot of my life. No matter like what I would do to like try to keep myself busy, or if I would like try to help others or anything like that, there wasn't really anything there where I was just like, why am I doing this? I don't understand my motivations. I was very like rebellious. I used to get like kicked out of churches a lot because I would like try to ask questions they didn't really like, or I would like dress a certain way to just try to like rile up something. And I realized I was very bitter because growing up without like any sort of faith or just something faithless just generally made me feel hollow. It made me feel like something was missing. And I would go into like alcoholism or like substances or something like that, and I would just try to find out solutions that I would come up with. Nothing that like God or Jesus was actually guiding me towards. It was almost like against it in a way. There would be like really good things that I would turn away from just because, well, I thought my solution was a little bit better. And that completely changed when I just kind of like humbled myself, honestly. Things started slowing down a little bit as I got older, and I was able to like kind of look back a little bit more and like realize how much Jesus and God have actually been in my life and have actually affected me in so many ways that I didn't even notice. Whenever we started going to Grace, every service was just like beat for beat, something could apply immediately into my life. And that's how I knew like I was seeking God more unintentionally than I thought, and God was answering me back, which was just insane. That's what made Jesus click for me, I think, honestly. That's what made him more noticeable in my eyes than anything else, is that he was just very like consistent, he was compassionate, and he cared. Like he genuinely cared for everyone. And for him to selflessly just like go on the cross and die exactly for everything that we've done, what we will do, and what we have done is just, it's amazing. September 16th, I talked with Pastor Ryan just to see like what his perspective was and his story, and it turns out we kind of had similar mindsets as we were growing up. And with that meeting specifically, I knew right then and there, I was like, okay, I know I'm all in, and I know the next step now is I have to get baptized because I want to show everyone I'm committed, because that's something super important to me. I think it was my father-in-law. He sent me Psalms 40, and I read over that, and it like perfectly described how like my journey with him had been and like what it felt like. I waited patiently for the Lord to help me. He turned to me and heard my cry. He lifted me out of the pit of despair, out of the mud and mire. He set my feet on solid ground and steadied me as I walked along. That, to me, that described my testimony completely. That verse specifically super resonated with me just because it felt like that's what it felt. It felt like I was in the mud. It felt like I was in the sticks with like a lot of things in my life. And knowing later on that Jesus and God were always right there with me, and having Jesus as example now, looking back, he was always there with me. And I would say it was about like when I was 15, I kept telling myself, I was like, I'm just not meant for like the world. I feel so different from the world. And learning more and more, especially through the Foundations course, whenever it was described that we're almost like aliens in a different kingdom, it just all kind of clicked for me. I was like, that's what I've been trying to describe since I was like 15. I feel like I have like I was in black and white, and I'm in like full color. Like I was on like a 30s, 40s TV, and now I'm in like 8K Ultra HD. Yeah. Almost in a way. But that's kind of how I've been feeling about it. That's how my shift has kind of happened.